right, welcome back to the radio show. Look, my website attracts several million viewers a month. My radio show, they say, is 8 to 10 million. I guess it's closer to 20 million listeners a week nationwide. Ask yourself a question. The newspapers are dying, yet my show is thriving. Newspapers are dying, yet my little unknown website, which never gets any promotion other than from this show, is thriving. Other websites are booming. Why is that? It's because the newspapers have failed to do their job. It's because this show that I do is basically a show about my view of the world, what I think is going on, and one man's opinion. I ask the questions that others don't ask. Why don't they ask them? Have they lost the ability to ask questions themselves? Maybe it's that far gone, I don't even realize it. That maybe the people in the media don't even know what questions to ask because they can't think. I don't know the answer. So we're focused now on Dr. Daniel Kliman, elevator shaft. Newspapers won't cover the story, swept under the rug. The police department says it's over. He fell. There's no interest whatsoever from the professional Jewish organizations like the ADL. Not a word out of Boxer, Feinstein, not a word out of anybody, which leads me to believe something doesn't add up here, and I don't know who they're covering for. So then I get a call from a cop from Vallejo who says that he knows who the Zodiac killer is. Lyndon, let's go back again on this because you have my attention. How old is the Zodiac killer?
Well, as of today, he's 87.
Is he still capable of killing?
Yes, but according to the professionals that we've interviewed and consulted, for example, Robert Lundy from Stanford University, who's written several books on serial killers, says that most likely if a serial killer reaches a point of stability in his life, chances are they will never kill again. But there's always the potential for, since the trigger is always half-cocked, they could go on another killing spree. So this is entirely possible, but it's most unlikely.
So in other words, if a very old man is seen walking around a mall looking grizzled and crazed, look out for him.
Well, I would say so. And this particular individual has the uncanny ability, very well-spoken, very well-dressed, to lure very unsuspecting girls who would otherwise never enter a car with any stranger would do so gladly.
Who did the Zodiac killer target? Were they all the same type? Were they all young girls? I mean, young women?
99% of them were young women. For example, the only two males that there are three males that he attacked, two of them survived because he did not attack them with the same ferocity that he did the female companions.
Was he married?
Yes.
Did he have children?
No. No children.
Is he a white male?
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
Was he at the level of a county legislator or a judge?
No, he was neither of the above, but he had some very influential contacts, if you will, that he was directly involved with, who covered for him, if you will, and issued certain orders to the respective police agencies here in Solano County that this man was not to be investigated. Now,
Lyndon, can I ask you a direct question?
Certainly.
Because I don't know anything about the Zodiac killer. I really didn't pay much attention to it at the time. For some reason, it didn't attract my attention. Why are you so involved with this particular case? Are you him?
No, I'm not him, but I had a direct involvement and a interlude with him that was very, very frightening. And from that point on, the FBI agent here that I know personally ran a background check on him, and this is in the very, very beginning. And I was informed by the agent that he was a phony SOB. So when I asked him for clarification, I asked him, well, Floyd, what exactly do you mean? He says, Lyndon, he says, I cannot tell you. So anyhow, it's we think over the years.
So the basic point of your call is that although I am outraged that San Francisco's police department will not investigate the murder of this doctor, you say that's nothing new here.
Yes, I'm saying it's nothing new. I mean, it's tragic that they will not.
All right. So you've been in the field. You're a retired policeman yourself. Let's take the case from the top down. Outspoken, pro-Zionist, Jewish, taking Arabic lessons, bottom of an elevator shaft. Who could they be covering for and why?
Well, I don't know if they could be covering for any particular person, but I will say this. At this stage in the investigation, they might kiss everybody off who thinks that they're not interested in the case because they don't want to disclose any evidence they feel could jeopardize the continued investigation.
You mean they're making believe they're not interested, and that's why they're doing this?
I think it's entirely possible, yes.
Well, that would be a positive if that was true.
That is, yes. That would be a positive.
Well, I had a caller yesterday who said that they're throwing basically dust in everyone's eyes, making believe they've got it solved in order to relax the potential perp.
This is what they've been doing with the DNA evidence in the Zodiac case since October 2002.
Well, I don't know. Who do you think would have done? Look, let's just cut to the chase. You're a former investigator. Who do you think could have done this to this doctor?
Well, I think it could be any number of people. More likely, it's probably a group effort between 2 or 3 individuals who conspired to do him in. I mean, it seems rather...
Doesn't it strike you as odd that the classes he was attending, the Arabic classes, would have been canceled and he didn't know about it?
Well, certainly. I mean...
In other words, they say they did a mass email. Did he get it? Well, obviously he didn't because he showed up. Why did he not get it? So if he didn't get it, maybe they didn't send it to him, but they sent it to everybody else. Wouldn't the first step be to investigate the school itself?
I would think so. Absolutely, and you want to preserve all that physical evidence on the doors.
Okay. Did you go to my website and look at the picture of the death elevator and see the signs of a struggle on that door that someone took the picture of today?
Oh, I've not yet done that, but I will.
Well, you can't believe it. There's 3 doors, 3 banks of doors, and only one bank, the one he allegedly fell down, has the sign of a struggle on it. Looks like footprints to me, although they're not clear enough for me to make out what it is. Hands, feet, something went on the outside of that door.
Well, with the forensic possibilities they have today, they can determine exactly what kind of print that is, what kind of shoe it came off of, and when it was made. So yeah, they got to preserve all that evidence.
Lyndon, let me ask you this. They say this man, in addition to being very vociferously pro-Israel, he was also a gay man, and that he dated one of the people in the Arabic class. Wouldn't you think, if you were running this investigation, you would immediately find out who that man was?
Well, certainly, because I would be looking for the jealous lover. And,
okay.
You know,
and how was he lured to this office on the night that the classes were canceled? How did he get lured there? Who called him? Who called him and said, look, even though classes are canceled, why don't you meet me there? We'll go for a drink or whatever. Or he didn't know the class was canceled and he showed up because there's videotape of him appearing at the lobby of the building, actually going up the elevator earlier in the day. He did ride the elevator up.
Well, I think you might be surprised shortly to learn that the San Francisco authorities are not overlooking this evidence, but they might be downplaying it because they don't want to tip their hand. They don't want anyone to know what they know.
All right, Lyndon. Well, you know what? I hope to God that's the case. I pray to God that the truth will come out in the strange death of Dr. Daniel J. Kliman. And remember, I want to say again, I don't know the man. I never met the man politically. I probably disagree with him with 99% of what he stood for. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be interested in a homicide, an obvious homicide like this. Mr. Lyndon, I'm going to send you a free copy of my book, Psychological Nudity, because I think of all of them you might be most interested in